Okay, I will repeat few words. I really want to appreciate the bold and strong initiative taken by PMO to move in strategic directions and help professionals and the businesses to gain that strength and to build their competence to move in that direction. And I really appreciate that. And in that direction, the first initiative is to go with the webinars and to bring the awareness and understanding of the professionals particularly and the business houses how to manage all those areas. So in that area, the first initiative is a webinar that is on why PMO Center of Excellence is inevitable for moving business in the directions it requires to move on. So that is the basic reality. And why that is important. Um Before I go into that details, let me bring you to some understanding of the PMO strategies. PMO strategies is a setting, is a group of experts who really wants to help the businesses to move in their strategic directions and to build that strength which is really required in the present time. Why I'm talking of present time? Because the present time has brought the perpetual disruption, the challenges at every new morning, and those challenges are mind-boggling, and most of the cases it pushed the businesses out of their mind and out of their directions. So for that, you really need an independent business center where the experts can help the businesses and the professionals to make up that gap which is really created by the change and the directions which is being hampered. So that is the basic idea, and where PMO strategies come into to play their role to help the businesses particularly and the professionals in general to build their competence. With this, let me go on with my presentation for today to bring you the understanding what is important and why it is important. Uh, to bring that understanding, let me introduce myself. As I said, it is M. Aslam Mirza. My picture is there. It is there only to show that I'm better than my picture. My exposure to business industry is very extensive, and instead of going into that details, I will only invite your attention to my book, which is on project management and leadership. That book is essentially written under a theme of aura. Aura essentially is a uh, uh, an environment surrounding a person or a team who is built their competence and poise for moving in the directions they want to. So that is the basic area touched upon by this book. So if you have interest, you can take a look of this. uh, why this is all necessary? This is all necessary because of the business complexities taking place. Those complexities essentially are listed down out here in four areas, starting from external, internal, operational, and strategic. You can see that every area has got a long list, and all these areas needs to be attended together and at the relevant point in time so that the businesses can move on, and for that the professionals have built up their competence to help the businesses to move in that directions. So listing down all these complexities essentially is to bring to your attention why it is important and why it is necessary to emphasize on building the gaps and making up the gaps where the professionals particularly and the businesses can move on. Here, essentially, I appreciate the saying and quotes by the experts and by the gurus who have very strongly recommended that Peter Drucker, who said long ago, but that quote is still valid in the present time, that the greatest danger in time of turbulence is not the turbulence itself, but dealing with it with the yesterday's logic. So that yesterday's logic is no more valid in the present time as well. So that essentially brings me to the feeling that whatever we are trying to do may not be valid unless and until we know that whatever we are doing is relevant to the present time challenges. And I was reading one report by McKinsey, who just recently, a couple of weeks back, who said that in the present time challenges, the most of the business executives, they if they don't have a solution available to them, they like to continue with their yesterday's logic just to keep their workforce and themselves busy, which is a wrong approach because the yesterday's logic may not be valid. So you have to evaluate that whatever you are applying for the solution is really valid in the present time, in the present scenario. So for that purpose, this quote is very valid. Here, I really appreciate the Tao Te Ching, who really have said that in the pursuit of knowledge, something new is learned. In the pursuit of wisdom, something is unlearned. Of course, you cannot have the wisdom unless you unlearn whatever is not valid in the present time. And to perform, you need to learn, unlearn, and relearn. That is the basic thing which is required for every professional to move on effectively, progressively, and successfully. So I really, these quotes are very close to my mind and my heart. That's why I thought it's better to share it with you so that I can communicate the wisdom of the known gurus. Uh, the center of excellence, essentially the center of excellence concept is not new. This is in practice since last couple of decades. But in the present time, when it is coupled with the PMO essentially with the power of project management, because when you couple the power of project management with the center of excellence, then it really becomes valid and effective in the present time challenges. And and essentially to make the things moving, the center of excellence is the job with the power of project management to see that where what needs to be done and what change needs to be managed in an effective manner, because every change may not be dangerous, may not be putting you out of business or out of job, but there are changes which may bring you opportunities. But if you are not working effectively on those changes, you may not be able to capture those opportunities. So the center of excellence brings the value of capturing those opportunities and managing all the changes effective in a way that your advancements in the required direction is hampered to the minimum. So for that purpose, the center of excellence has got its own value. And uh, uh, to understand it more effectively in the present time, the report published by McKinsey and Company, they just came up with the demands that the present time has got come up with the new requirements in the businesses, that is resilience and adaptability. So they suggest that the success lies in creating the workforce who are resilient and adaptable. So how to do that? Because once the businesses are engaged and the professionals are engaged in their present challenges, they may not be they may not find time to make their workforce prepared for this. And this is important in the present time, because you want to move on and you want to face the challenges in an effective manner. Then of course you need to develop your workforce with aligned with the resilience and adaptability. So the PMO comes into play, and PMO brings the value and to find out what gaps are there, who needs what action at what point in time, and for that what necessary skills is really required to be add up. That means reskilling and upskilling of the workforce and the change in the processes of the businesses to move on. So that can only be done by an independent center and an independent group of experts who are working on those lines, along with the business experts and business executives. So there, that is the basic purpose and basic reason for PMO Center of Excellence to be created and to be taken into practice for the advancements. So while developing such a workforce, organizations need to prioritize actions without losing sight of other factors. Businesses are already bogged down in their involvements in the businesses to move on. So these new requirements and new challenges, of course, it becomes difficult for them to divert their attention to this. And if they have the support of of their center of excellence, then only they can move on the two areas together. So PMOs are responsible for building uh, organizational competence for each task and project in accordance with the changing requirements of emerging circumstances. So that is the basic purpose which is served primarily by a PMO, together and coupled with Center of Excellence expertise. So that is the basic needs, and that is the basic purpose where you cannot ignore, you cannot overlook this importance. Further on, it brings the excellence. And what excellence one needs to understand? That is an enhanced engagement and innovation, which needs to keep the business go on in the directions they want to, adapting new norms and developing long held mindset, because when you are developing your workforce for the resilience and adaptability, that needs to be trained for long held mindset, creating an attitude of comfort in chaos and against affinity for order. This is something where most of the workforce are not trained, and for that, there needs to be special training required to develop the mindset where one do not get upset by the changes, because the first and foremost important thing comes to mind is what will happen to me, because everybody is close to himself and herself. So there, what's in it for me? Because any change, any advancements, anything new, anything taking place with a different approach, of course everybody gets alarmed. So that needs to be found out how to make that resilience and adaptability by every work professional and every member of the team. Creating an attitude, sorry, view change as a challenge and opportunity, because every change may not be dangerous, may not be putting individual or the business out of their place. But once you are able to understand the change, and once you are able to evaluate the change, in what way it is affecting the individual and affecting the business, then only you will be able to find out the opportunities. And if you are evaluating the change, then definitely the opportunity can be captured. And that opportunity, of course, I mean, this is the world. If you the only thing in life is permanent is change. So you have to live with the change, and you have to make yourself comfortable living with the change. Learning mindset for adaptability. This is the most foremost important thing created by PMO through the through this interaction with the workforce, and through the training, and through the atmosphere and culture created for the change. So that learning mindset has got to be adapted. Think flexibility and creativity. The flexibility and creativity is something which goes in hand, but only when you have that mindset. So to create that mindset, you need certain training, you need certain processes to go on. Build a psychological safe community, not just a group. This is something very important. And here I would like to bring to your attention the happenings which took place with Nokia. The Nokia went down out of business just in a time period of 2 years, from having more than 50% of market share. They just went out of business. Why? Because the psychological safety was not prevalent. Although the culture was such that people were interacting, and best executives were working for Nokia, but still the lack of psychological safety brought down to bring the reality and the market trends and market change under discussion, and that put the Nokia out of business. So that needs to be seen and needs to be practiced, so that that psychological safety is not only for words or for discussion is there, is in true sense is prevailed. uh, PMO Center of Excellence essentially has got to be put into effect through three areas of PMOs, and that needs to be understood, because every business has got to find out what area of PMO is really necessary for their business and for them to go on with their advancement in the directions they want to pursue. And the three areas: supportive, controlling, and directive. These three areas, the businesses themselves can find out which is the best suited with their culture and with their business teams and business size, and which is effective. But one thing stands true for every type of business, even for the entrepreneur, that you need some outside help for second opinion, for immediate support, for making the change comfortable for you. So you need to make use of the PMO Center of Excellence. If you are not, if your business size do not allow you to go have an in-house PMO, you can take the advantage of virtual and remote PMOs like PMO strategists. So that facility is there, and you can always reach out for support and for guidance and for second opinion. So this again is the responsibility of the business houses to find out what is the best suited for them. Uh, Solution work environment. This essentially is necessary for the businesses to make a comfortable work environment, for things to move on. And that starts from flexibility. Flexibility again depends on how and when and which teams can work on with that flexibility. Here, the mindset again comes into play, that businesses are required to focus on the outcomes and on the desired results, not on the hours of the team who are putting into the job. I mean, here I'm really sometimes get surprised that people, when they are hiring professionals, they are hiring the best out of the market. But when they are assigning them the job, and when they are exercising some sort of control, they try to control them by their timings, by their inputs, by their way of working, by their adapting methodologies. Well, point is, when you have chosen the best out of the lot in the market, then why are you controlling all this? Why don't you just keep the things open to the professionals? Let them work, let them reach to the desired outcomes the way you want it. Just only discuss the outcomes, just discuss the methodology they want to go along with that, but leave it to them. In their way, you can create the flexibility, but it needs to be understood. It needs to be create that mindset. Human centric decisions, this is in the present time is very important, because human factors plays everything. It can bring your business down, it can make your business to flourish. So your every decision must be taken up with the human centric aspects. And there you can take the use of artificial intelligence powered human factors. There you can find out what is the best and how to go along with that. Social network. I mean, you need to help the team members to create and go along with the networks they want to, because it is observed that the teams who are free to develop their own networks, their performance is far better than the ones who do not have that facility. Transparency. The transparency essentially is not only that you look into what subordinates and these working team members are doing for you. Transparency also means that how you are creating the policies, how you are managing the teams, how you are working with the team members and the leadership. So the transparency at every level, and it starts on the top. So transparency at the top must be distilled down to the bottom, and it should be prevailed in letter and spirit. Purpose. The purpose of every individual is very important to everyone's mind and heart. So that has got to be aligned with the purpose of the task assigned and purpose of the organization. Because when that is in alignment, then you don't need to work and worry for the engagement of the team member, because the purpose itself brings the engagement to the highest level. So the next level is the trust. And as I said, that transparency has got to prevail. The psychological safety has got to prevail, and this can prevail only when you are able to pursue the trust, because trust is dependent on the psychological safety and transparency. And you show that you really trust, because it starts from the top. The top managers need to trust their managers. The top managers must need to trust their leaders at the team level. They must trust their workers. They must trust every contributor, every person in the team, if they are interested to create that trust level prevalent in the organization. Reshape organization. This reshaping essentially is important, because when we talk of organizational advancements in a strategic direction, there you need to define your strategic advancement, because there comes into play the role of project management, because project management brings that role. Here, I would like to share with you the structure which is provided by project management, and this framework is really helpful for strategic advancements, because at the top level, at the organizational level, you essentially deal with the strategic translation, strategic definition, strategic control. At the portfolio level, you define what goals needs to be achieved through what initiatives and what projects. At the program level, you group up those projects which are interrelated, and to maximize the outcomes and maximize the outcomes of the resources, you put them, you manage them together. So that from the program level is to enhance the trust and the value to the stakeholders. At the project level, you manage the delivery, and at that level, you essentially manage what needs to be delivered at what point in time and how. So then in this structure, you are able to control the advancement in a strategic direction. This all is done through the standards and the practices. And here I have got the complete list of standards which is created and published by PMI. The beauty of these standards is that these standards are time based, and every 3 years they are updated with the new advancements and new practices coming into play. So these standards are really valuable for applications, so that you know exactly what you need to compare with, what you need to go along with. And same time, it has got the recognized, world recognized certification, and having those certification, you can make your workforce to go along with that world recognized certification, and you can enhance their competence, not only for your organization but for their global recognition of their competence. So this needs to be pursued. Here, the framework, what frameworks essentially brings to the business, to the organizations. I would not like to go into the details, because this comes into play only when you have the organizational structure developed in line with the project management framework. Here, I would like to share the definition of the organizations, uh, uh, which is really helpful for the organizations to move along and to deal with the areas of management. Because at the portfolio level, you manage the strategy and value for the business. At the program level, you manage the value for the stakeholder, and at the project, you deal with the deliverables. Here, you really manage the advancement of the business in a structured manner, and that structured manner really helps you to manage your businesses in an effective manner. Here, what needs to be strategized, because you just cannot achieve all those benefits without strategizing in your advancement, and that starts from culture policy, because you need to create a culture where the high performance is the basic norm, and for that you have all supportive policies. You have developed the benefits and returns established and effectively available for each team members in the organization. You have created and practiced the work-life balance in the work. you have led the team to reach to the desired outcomes by giving them the opportunity to develop their own work-life balance. The recognition of the AI application that needs to be applied at every level, and for that you need to support your team members to learn the AI application. Learning support for AI and others, that again you need to create a culture where every team member is helped to move along with the required skills the way one is desired, is really willing to, because you are not only responsible for a team member's present application of the knowledge, but also future. What somebody wants to go along with the advancements, one must be helped to achieve those levels. Well-being support and at all levels. This well-being is equally important at all levels, not only at the managerial or the leadership level, but at the workforce level as well. The alignment of purpose and values, this is the foremost important thing, and everything starts from this. Usually this is the area which is overlooked and usually not practiced in general, but this has got the biggest value, because if that alignment is there, then you don't need to worry for the engagement, and you don't need to worry for the workforce and the managers to leave organizations. They will work not for themselves, but they will not work for the organization, but they will work for themselves. So you have to create that sense of participation. Well, with this, thank you very much for your time and for your attention. Here, you can always reach out to me, to the PMO strategist, through these links, and you are welcome. If you have any clarity required for understanding, please feel free to reach out and stay connected. And again, I would like to share that this program is ongoing, and every second Saturday of the month, my turn will be there to interact with you. So you are most welcome to join in our future endeavors and future programs and future presentations. So with this, thank you very much.